We now move to the game that everybody's been waiting for. The Georgia Bulldogs head to Tuscaloosa. Georgia, a 2.5-point road favorite against the Crimson Tide. Who you got?
You know what, Andy? You know what? I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to make this painless. I'm going Bama, and I'm going Bama to win the game. I have been saying all year, and people have been mad at me, but Georgia's lack of offensive explosiveness, the skill position player, scares the ever-loving crap out of me. And playing against a team that has guys that will score on the road against the offensive coach who has proven that he always had, something up his sleeve, I don't know that I'd like Georgia to win the football game. And I felt this way for 2 weeks. But I know we had a video about it on Sunday. I know we talked it through. But I'm not going to go against my gut here. Like, my gut has been saying Alabama since the start of the season. My gut changed a little bit after the Clemson game. But watching Georgia play the Kentucky team, I thought that was more of an exposure of ailments on their team than it was just a sleepwalking game. Not that it should have been that close, but I think that you can see a route to beating this football team. And I think Alabama just has to hope that they didn't figure something out in the last 2 weeks. But I like Alabama in the game.
Well, let's workshop this. I'm gonna give you a scenario that I envision if Georgia wins this game. This is why, and then see if it alters your thinking at all. So before I give my pick, Tate Ratledge, Georgia's best offensive lineman, got hurt in the Kentucky game. They had to shuffle some things around. Micah Morris, the guy who's replacing Tate Ratledge, has played some, but that group had not played together, really. They've had 2 weeks now to practice together. I think that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Williams didn't play against Kentucky. We don't know where he's at for this game. He had an ankle sprain early, I believe, in the Clemson game.
But he's really good. Yeah.
He's, game wrecker. Game wrecker.
Yep.
So he may play in this game. That potentially makes a difference. Now, I will say, Caden Proctor had a really good game against Georgia in the SEC championship game. Probably the best game Caden Proctor played all of last season for Alabama. So maybe not. Maybe that doesn't matter. But I think it matters. I think it will matter if he plays. I think we saw Wisconsin run the ball effectively against Alabama. I think Georgia can run the ball effectively against Alabama too, because Georgia's got a better offensive line and better backs than Wisconsin. Now, I am with you in that I don't know who the downfield threats are for Georgia. Is it is it Dominic Lovett? Is it Colby Young? Is it, can you get Ben Urosic involved doing some things that make him, versatile? Is it Oscar Delp? We have not seen that yet. Alabama's not typically the kind of defense you kind of break out against. So that concerns me. The best daily fantasy game in America. Use the code STAPLES, play $5, get $50 instantly. This past weekend, I used that almost free Caleb Williams square to pick a winner. I had a four square play. Producer River showing the 5 square play that I gave out that where only 2 of them hit. Yeah, that wasn't my best work. Ari told me don't pick a kicker. Stay away from the kickers. I picked USC's kicker. I was sure he was going to have a couple field goals and an extra point, and it turned out that they stopped needing to kick field goals because they started scoring touchdowns. And then that didn't work. But I did have a winner. That's also not the winner, Producer River. There's the winner. There's the winner. Thanks to that almost free Caleb Williams square where all he had to do was throw for a yard. But Nate Noel just tearing it up for Missouri against Vanderbilt. Garrett Nussmeier, I'm very confident in Garrett Nussmeier. And then Garrett Green, the West Virginia quarterback, they were in a fight with Kansas going into the second half. So I did more than 19.5 rushing yards in the second half. And sure enough, Garrett Green, White Lightning, came through for me. So that's how you play Prize Picks. You pick as few as 2 squares. You can pick more. The more you pick, the higher the potential payout. It's so much fun. Makes watching the games very entertaining. And again, every week in September, you've got the almost free Caleb Williams square. And that was very helpful. 1 yard equals 1 win. So one more of those. And that's coming up this week. So Caleb Williams can bail you out if you're not super confident. I think as long as he throws for a yard. I was a little nervous for a second yesterday. But if Georgia can control the ball on the ground and Georgia's defense can make Jalen Milroe look more average, which I do think is possible. I think Wisconsin's defense made Jalen Milroe look like Superman. I think there's a chance that you can force Jalen Milroe into some mistakes with a better defense. Georgia is that better defense. So, again, probably would help if Michael Williams plays. So, does any of that change your confidence? Because you are picking Alabama with what I feel like is a very high level of confidence.
It's really hard to be confident, really. Like, that was kind of a facade, picking against Georgia to win a football game. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, you're like, hey, let me try to change your mind. Oh, by the way, 2 of the best players in college football one got injured and one didn't play against Kentucky, and they have time to practice, but then like Michael Williams is coming back. Of course that scares me. The guy's going to be a game record in the NFL next year. Like, yes, I'm scared. I'm absolutely scared. I don't know. I don't know, Andy. On the road, they're at home. They're catching 2.5. I think that they'll be able to score on this team, and I just don't know if we're going to have or a Georgia offensive flop is on the table here. Like, I don't know if a Alabama offensive flop is on the table here.
Well, I hope I was convincing because I was playing devil's advocate because I agree with you. I think Alabama's going to win this game.
Okay. Whew. Whew. Yeah. So at least if we get roasted, we'll do it together. But I just my gut has been with Alabama since the beginning of the year, man.
Yeah, I've watched enough Georgia that look, you're never going to dismiss Georgia out of hand, no matter the opponent. So it's entirely possible that somebody gets unlocked at Georgia, like one of the receivers or one of the tight ends, like they figure out, oh, okay, this is how this needs to work. And then all of a sudden there's nothing you can do. But I think Alabama's good enough to keep the score down in this game. And Alabama's more dynamic. Producer River is asking, do we want to take the points or do we dare go money line on this?
Money line.
Agreed. Money line on Alabama. I can't wait for this game. It's gonna be like this is a night game. Like our show's right after this game. It's gonna be amazing.
We got the appetizer on Friday night, and we're bookended by 24 hours of just amazing football. We got Miami on Friday night, then we get this game at night. And I'm gonna have the screens. I'm gonna be home this weekend, which is gonna be weird. It'll be my first time this year, like watching games from home. But I'm really, really looking forward to it.
David in the chat, y'all about to look so damn stupid.
It happens.
Well, this is like we just both picked against Georgia. This is like when we both picked against Alabama in the 2021 SEC championship game. We made it into the hype video, and then Alabama killed Georgia. So,
yeah.
Oh, Jonathan in the chat, Kirby is 9-1 after a buy-in, 27-3 with more than a week to prepare. Well, they don't play Alabama after all those buys. That's the difference. This is not just any opponent. And I say that on both sides. Like for those of you who agree with us that we think Alabama's going to win, this is Georgia. This isn't just any opponent. We can very, very easily be wrong here.